Hey guys, how's it going? Thinness here, and I'm returning my iPhone Air. Now, I'm not returning it because I have a problem with it. In fact, I'm returning it for a whole other reason, which I'll explain in a minute. But in this review video, let's kind of go through the whole phone. Let's figure out who this phone is for, and then hopefully you'll understand why I'm returning it. Alright, so the phone itself. Listen, I think that this is one of Apple's most beautiful products ever. Look at this 5.6 millimeters thin titanium frame body, feels excellent in the hand, so lightweight and almost perfect. I think 6.4 inches would have been the perfect size for this, but 6.5 also isn't that bad. Now when it comes to the front, we've got ceramic shield 2 here and ceramic shield on the back. I don't need to tell you how tough this phone is. Everyone who has tested this has been so impressed with this. Now whether that's like the breakdown tests like Jerry Rig and iFixit, or whether it's that Tyler dude on socials, it's just, my god, it's insane what this phone can go through. I really itched on trying it, but unfortunately I couldn't. But in my usage, the body has been perfectly fine. I haven't seen a single scratch or dent on it. I've used it caseless. Because I use phones caseless, and anyone buying this phone and then using it with a case is stupid. But I have like almost no issues with the body. The one little gripe I do have is the charging port. Why isn't it centered, Apple? Why? I request to know why this charging port is not perfectly centered. But apart from that, the display and the body have been no issue to me whatsoever. I cannot think of a single reason that I had a problem with the body or the display of the phone. Now the display itself is a 3000 nit display. It was beautiful outdoors, 120 Hz ProMotion, yay, finally, and obviously 6.5 inches like I mentioned earlier. Whether you were watching a video on it, whether you were gaming on it, it was all phenomenal on the display. Now, thinness is obviously super important when buying this phone, and it's one of the first factors I wanted to talk about, because that's the reason you're buying this phone. You're buying it because of how thin it is, right? You're buying it because that appeals to you. So that should be like on your checklist. One of the first things if you're looking at getting the iPhone Air is that, does thinness appeal to you? I mean, I've already switched back to my 17 Pro and just look at the difference. This feels like a bulky, fatty compared to the Air. And if I compare this to other phones, let's say the Honor Magic, which is the foldable, you see how thin it is. Or let's say we compare it to the Nothing 3. I mean, there's a big difference in these phones, and you feel it. You feel it in the absolutely throughout the usage. And like I said, I've used this caseless. The only thing I've had on it is a little pop socket wallet on the back, with that also once in a while. I bought this phone because I wanted a slim phone. I mean, look at this, my god, that is stunning. That is absolutely gorgeous. Wow. But we've discussed something that I love. Let's discuss a problem, which obviously is this single camera. Now, the camera itself is in no way, shape or form a problem. I used this at a shoot recently when I went to an event, and the camera did a great job. Problem obviously occurs is that when, as a content creator, I wanted a wide shot. Guess what I had to do? Run far back to get that shot. Similarly, zoom. Problem again, especially with the 17 Pro having much better zoom, you notice it as well. So as far as the camera is concerned, pictures come out decent, videos are there. I'll leave a link to a few sample videos or the video itself that I shot. The camera is still the best wide lens Apple offers, just that it's only that, the wide lens, the one singular wide lens. Now it is 48 megapixels, it does 4K 60 recording, it gives you everything that you will need. So even daily footage, your food and your, just regular scenes and family photos and all that will come out beautiful. But the star of the show, and not that it's special to the iPhone Air, but that is the selfie camera. I will obviously say this about all the new iPhones, but this selfie camera is phenomenal. So if primary your recording or your photo taking is from the selfie camera, technically camera is not a problem for you. On the selfie camera experience, it's phenomenal. But on the rear camera, it totally comes down to if you need those wide or telephoto lenses. So that is something very personal to you, and you need to reflect upon the fact that you actually use those lenses. And if you don't understand what the terms ultra wide or telephoto are, then you're fine. You'll be perfectly happy with this camera. Now, when the phone was announced, there was a big hullabaloo about the fact that it's got the A19 Pro chipset, and I think the A19 Pro has been phenomenal. We also have the N1 chip here, we have the C1X modem here, and it's been really, really good. Obviously, you have Apple Intelligence, which is just a story for itself on another day, but I think that the Pro part of it has been great. Have I noticed any heating up? Not really. I've done a little gaming on the phone. I've done a bunch of video recording, and at no time was it so hot that I feel the need to mention it to you. That being said, the one time it did get hot was when I was under direct sunlight here in Dubai, which is like 40 plus degrees. So I'm not completely putting the blame on the phone, but did I push it to its limits in some sort of stress test? I didn't. So it's up to you to decide what you think about the whole heating part. There are many other small things that I'd love to discuss, but we have to jump right to battery. Now, to explain the battery portion, I have to tell you something that happened in one of my Apple briefings, which is that when I went down for the briefing and they were presenting us the Air, someone happened to say something very interesting to me, because up until this moment, I'm like, oh my God, slim phone and like low battery life, and oh my God, this is a huge issue. But then someone happened to say these words, which was, we have tried to see to it that the iPhone Air gives you the same battery life that the 16 Pro gives. Backstory, I used the 16 Pro the entire last year. It was my first Pro after years of the larger phone. And the big sacrifice I made last year was the fact that if I had, let's say, a shoot day, I knew my phone was going to die by 2, 3 o'clock. Or if I just had a busy day on the phone, I knew my phone was going to die by 4 o'clock. If I just coasted through the day with very minimal usage, I would last almost all the way to the night. And this became interesting because I was expecting it to be so bad that maybe it needed to charge by like noon. But that put a huge amount of perspective on this, and I can confirm that this phone does not have a battery problem. It has low battery life, I give you that. It has less battery life. So for example, here you will notice that this battery lasted me almost the whole day, but this was day 1. Then we come to day 2, where you see it said I'm using more battery today than I would have usually. This was in the night, right at the end of the day. I did not notice my phone wasn't centered. Apologies about that. And here we have it. So it was there almost the whole day, and you can see that it got a few charges. So these charges are when I was driving. So they're super, super slow charges over here. That's my nighttime charge. And here's the activity. So this again here, 6 hours and 41 minutes. Now there are charges here. So I'm not saying that it lasts all day, and this is 110%, but that means that in this entire 24 hours, it just charged an extra 10%. And these are the things I did on this particular day. Loads of Instagram usage, played a bunch of gaming. ChatGPT is a big battery drain. So yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that battery life is not a big problem. It is common in the sense that a Pro phone from a few years ago will do the same. Now, I agree that the 17 Pro has drastically increased, and so has the 17, but I don't think battery life is the issue we thought it was. Do you know what I didn't use this whole time? I didn't use this battery pack. I bought it. I bought the battery pack on day 1, which, if you didn't know, is the battery pack made for the Air, and it is the exact same battery here that is inside this. I didn't use this even once, except for the day that I went for my shoot. That also I use it just for like a few minutes, and then I was in the car charging. So I think that what we forget is that a lot of the times we have chargers around us. At work, we have chargers. At home, we have chargers. And it's those 1 or 2 rare days where you're really going out of your way and you might not have a charger around you. So if you have that kind of lifestyle, sure, spend an extra $100 and pick this up. But yeah, battery is not the issue I thought it was. If you guys disagree with me, or if you've had a different experience, please comment below and let me know. As you will see, I do pretty good on shorts, but I struggle heavily on long form videos. So if you can support the channel, that would be massively appreciated. And I thank you ahead of time. Apart from that, the phone, even though it's so thin, they squeezed in the camera control button, which I was extremely surprised by. But also, I kind of switched this button off. I only have it there to switch on the camera and take a picture. That's it. I don't have any of the other, I do have the toggles on, but I switch them off otherwise. So Camera control is there as well. Action button is there as well. They didn't skip away on that. An action button for me is basically to start a conversation with ChatGPT, which is what I use it for, and obviously it's customizable, so you can do so if you wish. Apart from this, we've also got the new chipset for Wi-Fi 7 and so on and so forth. I've seen no issues with that whatsoever. eSIMs was a bit of a party, but actually I've settled into it really well. I've used 2 eSIMs on this, in fact, and I've had no issues over there as well. Now, another thing we have to discuss is the fact that there is only one speaker up here, and that to me initially was extremely disappointing. I noticed it immediately. It was almost very jarring, especially if you're using the phone sideways. It is extremely jarring. I'm not saying it's forgivable. I don't forgive Apple for a $1,000 phone that has one speaker, but I will say that it is very usable because that one speaker is really good. So again, this will factor into what you are using the phone for. How do you use it? Once I kind of got used to it, when I was scrolling Instagram and stuff like that, it didn't really matter because you're scrolling it like this and the audio is coming straight to you. So let's finally come down to that final question. This costs $1,000. Here in the UAE, it costs 4,299 dirhams. If you add the battery pack on, you're spending another 400 dirhams. That ain't cheap. So this is primarily a luxury purchase. The iPhone Air is not the problematic iPhone product we thought it was going to be. It is just extremely, extremely niche. If budget is an issue for you, eyes closed, pick up the iPhone 17. It is the one for you. Why am I returning this? Is because I need those extra cameras. I cannot do without those extra cameras. Funny enough, like I said earlier in the video, I feel like a big bulk in my hand and I wish I could go to the slim phone, but that's why I've moved back to the 17 Pro. So that's kind of where the iPhone Air stands. What do you guys think? Whatever I said, was it sensible? Am I right? Am I wrong? Get into the comments. Let's talk about it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. iPhone Air, innovation or just Apple screwing around?